Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be doing CDA. What? Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be doing CDL power rankings. Which, I want people to understand that does not mean that I think certain teams. I'm not like ranking them on who I think is better. I'm simply ranking them on how they perform in the Kickoff Classic, who I think has momentum going into the season, you know, and their overall talent. So I will be taking talent into effect, but I'm not solely grading them on who I think is better. I'm grading them on performances. Because even though, you know, these matches are basically scrims and they don't matter for anything, it is a very big insight into what we're getting this season. So, you know, this is the best we got, and that's what I want to run with. We'll be starting off from bottom and going to the top. I'm going to be starting off at number 12 with the Seattle Surge. I really want this roster to be good. I love Brasini. He's one of my favorite players in the league. You know, top 10. And then you have players like Octane and players like Guns, who are phenomenal slayers and ARs. Well, I guess Guns is more of a flex. But, I mean, you have the best AR in the league last year, at least. And Gunless, who is always consistent, always going for high damage. You know, he can slay out of his mind. You got Looney, who is a veteran in the scene. He's won multiple championships. He just, you know, he knows what he's doing. He knows what it takes to win. And then you have Forsini, you know, route man, who do whatever it takes to win. But this team lost to Los Angeles, who I personally think is a bottom 3 team in the league. And I mean, you know, they won a search in Detroit, which is vastly different from last year. But really, I guess my problem here is Persini struggles, and I know Persini is really, really hard on himself. So if he's playing bad, you know, this is going to get into his head for the remainder of the season. However long his slump is, he's going to be hard on himself, and then he's playing Gunless, who everybody knows is not the nicest teammate. He is brutally honest. He doesn't hold back anything, and sometimes, you know, people can't really handle that. He's been on a lot of teams that were, you know, great at the start and then collapsed over the season due to lack of success. Which I guess I can't solely, you know, put that blame on him, but he was on those rosters, so you have to hold him accountable in some way. So I have CL Surge at number 12. I think that they can be a better team. Just, you know, you gotta get all the minds on the right track and perform better. Truthfully, just perform better. I need to see more out of Preston and Looney. If those guys aren't doing well, this team doesn't really have a shot at winning anything. You know, Dennis and Octane can do so much. This is a 4v4 league, so skill matters more than ever. You can hide bad players before, or at least not great players. This year, I mean, none of that. Like, we saw Persini rise in IW. We saw that he could be a star then. I really hope that he finds that form again. I know Flappy 5 was his best. I want to see him win the world championship. But you know, I just need to see more from him. Alright, moving to number 11, I have the London Royal Ravens. So London is at number 11 because simply for the fact that Zero is playing all the way in Europe. That is not easy. And he did actually perform well this weekend at the Kickoff Classic. But they were playing Paris, and I'm not gonna lie, Paris doesn't seem like the best team to me. I mean, Aqua went off, at least in the first map of the series, and you saw Fire perform pretty well. Scraps is being Scraps. I mean, in Classic, I like Classic. I feel like Classic doesn't get as much respect as he deserves in the league because of, you know, Rampart. But you know, Classic is a winner, so, and I feel like he's gonna need to lead the team. So yeah, I think London losing to Paris, it's just unfortunate. They played well, but they didn't get the win. I think they're a better team than Paris, and when Zero is here, and you know, there's no connection issues, I feel like they'll be okay. I don't really love the roster. I'm not a big fan of Alex. I think Alex is just overrated. I don't think he's like one of the most overrated players in the league. I'm not a super big fan of his game. I feel like when you look at that Minnesota roll card roster, like people like to put him blame a lot. a lot of different reasons, but I feel like Alex and Assault were supposed to be the stars of that team, you know, especially after dropping guard X, which I thought was a terrible move, and they didn't perform like at all. There is no excuse. Like, you had a slump, you dropped guard RX, you were expected to improve, you didn't improve at all. And I hold those two to be mainly responsible. Those were supposed to be your key slayers, and they just weren't. Alex had an injury, which I understand. I mean, Zuma had an injury and he's had to retire, so you also have to take that into effect. I can't really say Alex is terrible, you know. I just have to say he underperformed, and that's simple. So move on. At number 10, I have Los Angeles Guerrillas. Alright. I know they're your 2018 World Champions, so 3 of them are, and then they had Vivid, which is a massive improvement from Aches. I don't think Aches has it at all anymore. However, Vivid is, I mean, he is a great SMD player. He had a bad week. Or he had a bad game, you know. It is. Yeah. This core 3 is not good to me, like, at all. I don't see them competing for championships. I don't like Assault. I feel like Assault's the most overrated player in Call of Duty right now. He just is. He's not showing me anything that I need to be impressed with. At least a 5v5. I don't see him for before. You know, if you're wondering, he's not got optic, Black Ops 3 camps. A memory that will be burned into my brain forever. But he's not a top player. Like, I just don't see him being a top player in college nowadays, especially with the talent that we have that we didn't used to have in the league before. Moving on, at number 9, I have NYSL. Alright, so that's my boy Clay. I know you're really low, Clay. I'm sorry, but you know, this isn't the roster at all that he planned on having at the start of the season. He's missing Zuma. He's missing Hydra. Like, he's got 2 players that, oh, the team has Grim with him, so that is good. But Diamond Con, you know, the kid's new, hasn't really had much time to grow. Obviously, you have Mac. You got 3 really young guys. They're all looking up to Clayster to lead, which is exactly what Clayster will do, so I'm not really worried about that. I am, however, worried that, you know, they just simply don't have enough time. So that's why they are at number 9 right now. I think they will get better as the season goes on, but they simply just need more time. Diamond Con seems like to be a really good main AR. So, yeah, I'm looking for improvements throughout the year to like those guys. At number 8, I have the Paris Legion. Paris Legion is an interesting team because we don't really know much about them. They didn't announce a roster until really late in the year. And I mean, there hasn't been much for us to go off of. Like, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but watching them play in the Kickoff Classic was literally my first time watching Paris play anything. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, but I can't say that I didn't like what I saw. Alright, like I said, Aqua played fantastic. Fire, he looks like he's going to be a pretty good rookie, and I mean, they can only improve. Alright, they have a roster this year. This year, Paris has a roster that can win. Will they win? I don't know. We only have 5 major events, I'm pretty sure, plus champs, so that's 6. I feel like that'd be a middle of the pack team. Alright, at their peak they'll be champions, but I'm looking at them to be a middle of the pack team, so they're number 8. And number 7, I have the Toronto Ultra. I feel like Toronto versus Minnesota was, wow, what a shot. I feel like Toronto versus Minnesota was a fantastic match. Honestly, I feel like it was the best match you had the week. I mean, I guess the most exciting match would have been Optic versus Thieves, but you know, whatever. The Ultra played a played a really well series, and I mean, we know this roster. Alright, they won last year. They beat FaZe last year, so we know they have that talent to win. We know that they have that ability. You know, 4v4 is a little bit different. I feel like Zinni is obviously going to be the leader of the team, like, and he's going to need to be the most consistent in guiding these, I guess, young bloods in a way. Success. There's a guy been Vance, and Vance was cracked against Minnesota. Vance was going off. Honestly, just looking towards Kleenex because, you know, I feel like, I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I didn't really know about Kleenex until Black Ops 4. And so this is first 4v4 COD that I'm really getting to know his name, and I'm just really excited to see how he performs. Hopefully, you know, it's a little bit better throughout the season. Going up to number 6, I have the Los Angeles Thieves. I know having them at 6 is weird because we expect them all to be a top team, top 4 at least. But we saw them play Optic, and they got 3-0 walloped. Like, wasn't close. They couldn't clutch at all. I don't know what was going on. Even when, you know, felt like they should have won, they just didn't. You know, they got beat pretty handily, or not won, but, you know, at least got around and at least in that control. This didn't happen for whatever reason. Temp was not having a good series, and Temp is honestly the reason why I'm worried about Los Angeles. I don't know if Temp can be what they need him to be. Like, he just doesn't mesh well with the rest of the players. Well, not chemistry wise, but I feel like as like play style wise, I don't see Temp really meshing well with the likes of Slasher and Kenny and TJ. I just think their play styles are wildly different, and it's gonna take some time for them to get on the same page and to win. Truthfully enough, but I mean, last time we had Thieves in the league, it wasn't an instant success. We all know that they almost didn't make the league, but they clutched up, and then, you know, they made their improvements throughout the year, and that's exactly what I expect to see from Slasher. Same thing as Optic with last year too. Started out really bad, ended up having a pretty decent ending at least. You know, I never really worry about Slasher since I think he is the best leader in COD right now, truthfully. I mean, maybe he's not Clay and led, you know, Young Guns to world championships back to back, but he's just been the most consistent, I feel like, leader. He's always made massive improvements after the season. I expect that this year, so I expect these to be on the rise. At number 5, I have Minnesota, which is a team that I don't expect to be at top 5 throughout the entire year. Going into the season, I was not a big fan of this roster at all when they were announced. However, knowing, you know, the meta of this game, I feel like they are going to be just a little bit better than I gave them credit for at the beginning of the year. You know, Priesta, Priesta accuracy. Alright, I feel like accuracy, alright, hasn't really had the best shining since World War II, you know. Not really his fault. I mean, he was out of the league and Black Ops 4 for a little bit. I guess I would say, but he didn't have much success with Spice. You know, that he got on to Evil Geniuses. They had an amazing champs round. I mean, phenomenal. I saw massive improvements out of them. I didn't realize so last year, you know, it was kind of a little bit downhill, but he got himself a victory. Right, New York home series, and that's what matters the most. Dub is a dub. Priest has been and will continue to be the most versatile player in Call of Duty, if you ask me. I mean, there isn't a guy who can do literally everything as well as him now. I mean, I feel like the only player that in the league could have done anything, could have done every role better than him was Pharaoh, which was a piece right there. And now I just think Priest is that do-it-all guy for any roster. So with him, I feel like the roster can't be bad, alright? It really truly can, especially when you have Attach, who is the most underrated player in Call of Duty today. Kids these days don't know how nasty Attach was. And I know Attach. I know he will always put up. I'm never worried about his performance and what he can do. And so, Attach, power to you, man. Minnesota, good luck this year. I feel like you guys will be an alright team. Alright. Moving to number 4, I have Atlanta FaZe. I cannot put Atlanta FaZe too low. Alright, I know they lost to Florida, which wasn't expected at all, especially with Neptune coming in instead of Havoc. And, you know, FaZe definitely looked weak. Well, not weak, but weaker than any of us expected them to be. We expected them to be number 1, without a doubt, no questions asked. You're like, come on now. Like, you might have lost Major Maniac, and you may have lost Priesta. You got RCs in the 4v4 COD. They have a top 2 main AR. They have the best flex and the best SMG duel in the game. They will they will figure out, all right, what went wrong this weekend. They will be a top 3 team, no question asked. This is a matter of when and where. That's really all you need to say about Atlanta. Moving to number 3, I have the Florida Mutineers because, well, they beat Atlanta. They were a fantastic team last year. You know, they lost their leader in F3, you know, and it will not be the same. Obviously, they picked up Slack, who we know what to expect from Slack. Like he said himself, he can be a leader. All right, he's won multiple championships, multiple CODs. Last year, I believe, was the first time in years he hasn't won. Slack, you know, Slack will be what they need, you know, to keep these young kids focused. He won't be as good as F3 was, obviously, but he has what it takes. And then Neptune surprised me very, very much. I expected Neptune to not play well at all, and the kid played amazing. Alright, these Halo kids, I don't know what's up with them, but they need to be on more team process, it seems. Anyway, yeah, so they handled their business. Honestly, they played a very, very good game. They're a they're a well-oiled machine, and I look forward to seeing what they can do. Yeah, I want to see more tips for them. Honestly, it's just a roster I can't help but cheer for. So moving on to number 2. I know I might get some hate for this, but I got Dallas at number 2. I know they're your world champions, and they didn't really lose any. Well, they lost Clayster, and losing Clayster, honestly, to me, I just don't see how you can get better from that. You couldn't drop Krim, like you just can't. That's the GOAT. There's no way you can drop him and make any sense at all. So I get that you had to keep Krim, and obviously we're not getting rid of XCO. I mean, come on now. They are the future of Call of Duty. That's just what they are. But the reason why I don't have them at number 1 is because even though they did 3-0, you know, handle New York, they handled a very, very weak New York. This is not a New York that we expected at the start of the season. This is a New York that had, what, a week of practice. They simply aren't the best that they'll be. And even though it was a 3-0, I just, you know, I can't say that being a roster that is imperfect right now is enough to make you the best team in the game, even though you had success last year. This isn't last year. Alright, so hopefully people will understand that decision. And so number 1, obviously I have Optic. I have Optic at number 1 because they pretty easily beat Los Angeles Siege, who we expect to be a top 4 team. Now they're all together in Texas. There was a little bit of struggle, you know, I guess early preseason. Now they're all together. I mean, they just look dominant, plain and simple. They are smoking teams in scrims every single day. So there's no question right now to me that Optic is the best team in the game right now. At the time, obviously, I really, really wish we had land, because I don't know if I could say the same thing if they were on land. And then throughout the season, no, I'm an Optic fan, I'm not gonna lie, and most Optic fans will disagree with me when I say this, but Optic always seems to struggle in the middle of the season. I don't know why, I don't know what it is for us, but in the middle of the seasons we slump a bit. I guess, you know, teams start to understand how we play, and, you know, we don't adjust as well. So I'm really hoping this year that we stay strong in the middle of the season, you know, we don't have that major slump and get out of our own heads, because we play with really young kids. I mean, we know how Dashy can be, and when Dashy's not comfortable, his productivity seems to slump really, really hard, which is really frustrating. But also, we can't afford that this year. And I mean, you just had conversations with X about, you know, sticking to his grind, staying focused, not slacking off at all, because you can't have that this year. It's not the time, it's not the year. This year, all right, franchise league, especially after what happened with Optic last year. If Dashy does not perform, this could be it for Dashy. So I expect him to stay consistent. Scump is, I don't want to say he's key to this team, but, you know, he's not had his best seasons as of late. At the end of the MW, however, he was performing massively well, and I think when you have Scum, maybe not necessarily being the king anymore, because, you know, he's gotten a little bit older, but And he still has that fire, and he's still performing well. You know, this is nothing that this team can do. All right, Envoy, the Prince, he's the feature of God. It's plain and simple, and Matt is the Piper. All right. I still think there will never be a player that can be as dominant as Foreman was, especially you know after that IW run, champs. The best performance you will ever see in an event ever. Don't care what you say about it. That was GOAT shit. And that is Matthew Foreman Piper. I expect this year. And we are back and forth before. I'm unbelievably excited to see how far this team goes. That is a wrap on my CDL 2021 season power rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Hope you guys care enough to listen and make it all the way through this video. If you have any thoughts that you would like to let me know, just leave them in the comments. I'll read them and I'll get back to you. I always love to kind of say debate as my favorite thing to do in this community. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It's your boy Abyss. I'm out. Peace.